What's up, everybody? We just got out of watching Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the newest Pokemon attempt movie.
Oh god, yeah.
Obviously starring Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu. Definitely kind of threw everybody off at first when it was first released, but
Yeah.
so just to cut right to the chase, this was not a movie that I really expected to be all that great going into it, just not gonna lie.
No.
Didn't really have high hopes for it, but I was like, why not? It's a popular movie, and I grew up with Pokemon. Pull a Chris Stuckman, I grew up with Pokemon.
I grew up with Pokemon.
So I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. And plus, I like Ryan Reynolds for the most part. I think when he's casted right, he does a pretty damn good job. So just my reaction walking out of it, it's not that great.
No.
It's not.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's a very good movie. That being said, it's not terrible. I don't hate this movie at all. I just think that it was definitely, it just missed the mark on a lot of different things in terms of really trying to have creative writing, a creative story, characters that are actually insightful or intriguing.
Oh man, I thought the characters were incredibly bland.
Yeah, and just the overall storytelling method. There's a lot of storytelling issues in terms of writing, and
everything with the writing is just a big cliche.
Yeah, I think honestly probably the writing is
there's a lot of
worst
predictable
part about
shit.
It. Yeah.
Well, the comedy didn't work for me either.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's so many jokes in this movie, but most of them didn't land.
I'll say for me, so I guess this will kind of bridge me into the really almost the only positive of this movie. Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, I actually enjoyed a lot for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everything that, that was attempted with this character worked. There were some things where I'm like, yeah, that fell flat, didn't really work. Kind of cheesy and stupid. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think that's Ryan Reynolds' fault. I think he's honestly doing the best with the material that he's given here with this stuff. But I have to say, the first 15 minutes of this movie, I was like, I actually hated it. I was like, this is not good at all. I'm really pissed off because it was just by the numbers, cliche, writing horrible, characters horrible. Everything just felt like when the movie first shows you the first two characters of this movie, they feel like movie characters.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but there was what the fuck happened to that character? He just kind of left.
Yeah, there's a character that's shown to you at the beginning of the movie, and
he's like his good friend.
Yeah, he's like his friend, but he just literally, it doesn't bring him up one more time after that. Throughout the entire movie.
It wasn't a funny scene either.
It wasn't.
I don't know, the beginning, I didn't like the beginning, but the way I felt for the first 15 minutes of the movie, I kind of just felt for the entire film.
It just doesn't work because the film doesn't really care about giving you a real insightful character that doesn't feel like a movie character.
It feels like just a checklist of just oh yep, here's his sad backstory.
Yep.
He's gotta go find his father, and we all know that somehow, one way or another, it'll happen by the end of the film.
Yeah, basically, this film, you basically know how the story's going to play out, and I will say that the film gives effort in terms of trying to subvert you from your, detailed, predictions of the movie, because, when you're watching the movie, you're trying to kind of, predict how it's going to play out because it just seems really easy to predict. Mm-hmm. And the movie does try to, have some twists and turns that maybe does things that you don't see coming. But
there's only one thing that I didn't predict.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to spoil it. There's just a twist in the movie that I didn't predict, but honestly, it didn't I don't know. It thought it was alright.
It's even if you don't see it coming, it really doesn't really do much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're just okay. That wasn't what I expected, but it doesn't really add much to my experience.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
But yeah, but I guess going back to some of the positives, before some people that love this movie probably are already thumbs, just fucking saying, fuck these guys. These guys suck.
Which, for the record, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. To this day, I'm not just an old school. I mean, I did love Pokemon back in the day, but I play a lot of the new games, and I don't fuck with the trading cards much, but Anyways, I'm very well versed with Pokemon, and I didn't enjoy my time with this movie.
So, like, you know, the only good thing, like I said, was Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, and luckily, he is in this movie quite a bit. Like, once he is, you know, once his character finally comes into play in the movie, I think after the first 15 minutes, that was when the film finally, like, gave me something. Like, there was, the movie had nothing going.
It was really boring.
When, you know, Ryan Reynolds comes on to play, you're like, oh my god, finally some charisma exploding on screen. Like, finally you have something believable happening. Like, the movie had nothing, and then finally you have something that's believable, and, you know, a character that you actually find enjoyable, find entertaining, a character that you kind of care about the most. You care most about Pikachu this entire movie more than anybody else.
Yeah, kinda.
And, you know, and even then, the stakes that are presented with Pikachu don't always work because, one, you know they're not going to kill off Pikachu or anything.
Oh my god, I hated that scene. I mean, yeah. I guess we're not going to get into it, but, oh, man, there's just a scene where is it even really a spoiler? There's a scene where, like, Pikachu is, like, in trouble, and it's just like, no, he's not.
Yeah, like...
No, he's fucking not. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, even though you care about him the most, like, you don't really buy that he's in some serious danger throughout this movie. And you know, I guess that's not the movie's fault because by default, if you make a Pokemon movie, they're not going to make him die. But I mean, fuck, I think it was just
so obvious. I mean, like, way too obvious.
I mean, Pokemon the first movie. I mean, not saying it's a good movie, but I think that even now, if I watched it, like, maybe the ending to that, where Ash, like, turns into, like, stone and stuff.
Oh, man.
Like, I think that's probably a little bit more gripping than anything that happened in this movie.
Yeah, it was legitimately sad.
Yeah, like, it is a genuinely sad moment. So, I mean...
From what I remember.
From what I remember, shit, I'd probably go back now, maybe it wasn't that effective, but I remember it being effective, and this movie doesn't have really anything close to that.
No, I didn't feel... I just didn't give a shit, like, through any of it. I'm like, okay, things are happening, I guess. I have a lot of problems with this movie, but one of the things that really bothered me, even before going in, I was worried about how the Pokemon were gonna look in the film. And, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like the way they were, like... I don't like the hyper-realism, and I know that's not an original critique, because everybody says that. But genuinely, it's really distracting. Like, I don't think any of the Pokemon looked good, minus Pikachu and Mewtwo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I liked some of the Pokemon, but I think you're right. Like, most of them just didn't look very good. Like, they looked way too CGI and way too, like, they didn't mix in well with the world that was there.
Yeah, exactly.
But Pikachu was on point. I loved him.
Pikachu looked pretty good.
He looked good. Mewtwo, like you said, looked pretty good for the most part.
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
I think I enjoyed more or less how Charizard looked.
Yeah, he wasn't... I don't think he was one of the bad ones.
Yeah, like, I mean, he wasn't, like, fantastic, but, like, he didn't... Like, he wasn't distracting. Like, I was, you know...
I feel the same way.
I thought he had a pretty neat, you know, character design. And, I mean, same with, like, Blastoise. And, like, the whole, like, battle arena scene that's in this movie, I thought was fine. You know...
Yeah, that was one of, like, the few brighter moments, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah, it's short. And also, on top of that, it feels kind of like a detour. I mean, it's there for a reason. Like, they're there for a reason.
I've seen that in so many movies, like the whole, like, cage match with like a group of people. Like, I don't know. Kind of reminded me of, like, artificial intelligence, and I don't like that movie either.
Oh, yeah, AI, yeah.
I do not like. But anyways.
No, that movie's not very good.
Yeah, but
yeah, I can definitely agree with that. There was some, honestly, most of the Pokemon in this movie, I was like, it just looks weird. Like, it just didn't mix in well. But yeah, this movie has also just a lot of problems. I think the biggest issue that I have with this movie is just that I feel like it really didn't try at all with the screenplay or with really mostly the screenplay. I mean,
this movie just wasn't clever for me at all.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing, like... Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds, like, really brings, like, all the charisma to this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he carries really this movie. Like, there's without a doubt, he carries this movie.
The only other positive I'll say about this movie is I think it looks nice. I think it's a really nice-looking movie. Not the Pokemon, but just, like, the world itself.
I could see that.
Like, I liked the colors in the movie. I liked the little city they were in, just kind of Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even it's weird because, like, I like the colors, but sometimes the colors, like, I was like, why are the colors like that? Like they look pretty for the most part, but there's a few scenes, that I can remember off the top of my head where I'm like, why are the colors like this? Like there was nothing in their environment that would really cause the colors to be like this, but they're doing that. So
yeah, it felt like a stylistic choice.
Yeah, it felt. And it's fine because, I watch like Refn movies and, the colors are just crazy neon, but for some reason it flows well within the frame of what I'm watching, but to where I don't notice
This one's very much inconsistent and doesn't feel like a theme to the movie.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't feel like a theme. It just feels like whenever it wants to flash colors at you, it'll do it, and it feels separate from the actual world, and it kind of drew me out a little bit. Even though it looked pretty, I'll give it that, but it just looked a little odd.
Yeah.
And again, like the biggest issue that I have with this movie is really the screenplay. The characters are really uninteresting. Besides Pikachu, the dialogue is awful. Oh, by the way, I can't believe I haven't even talked about this yet.
What?
Everything in this movie is explained to you. Last thing.
I was gonna get into that. I was gonna ask you how you felt about the way they fucking gave exposition.
Yeah, I mean,
it was really
all of it was spoon fed to you, and
very spoon fed.
And I get it. It's a kids movie. Most people are gonna watch it. That most people are. But it's funny because like in my theater there was no kids in there. They were all adults.
They were all adults. I just realized.
Yeah. So, but I mean, granted, this movie's probably aimed towards kids, I guess.
There was a lot of adultish humor in this, though.
Yeah, there was.
There was I felt like Pikachu was definitely doing like not callbacks to Deadpool, but kind of like channeling his Deadpool character, like in a way.
Yeah,
I think most people know that, but it does.
It felt like that. Yeah. There's a lot of like cynical smartassness with his humor,
which I did like when it was clever, anyways.
Yeah, when it was done right. Which I have to give Ryan Reynolds a lot of praise because. Again, if he did not pull off this performance the way he did, this movie would have been complete garbage. Yeah. It would have been really bad.
It'd be like, I don't know, if they casted like Rob Schneider as fucking Pikachu.
Schneider as Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Oh my god.
This movie would be a fucking 2 out of 10.
Oh my god, it would have been a 0 out of 10. Oh my god.
Yeah, they actually... I don't know. I still might think that I would have preferred Danny DeVito, honestly.
Danny.
He would have been really funny for this film. I like his voice.
It's funny. I said that earlier, but I think it would have been hilarious. But I just think it sounds too trashy. It sounds too scummy, man. It would have it would have been hilarious.
That's what I love about it. But I guess as a marketing perspective, it's probably not a good idea.
That would have been hilarious.
But it would have been funny for me.
All right. There's also one more negative that I had with the film before we get into the spoilers. Mm-hmm. And me, I actually talked to him about this earlier, and it was the fact that when the climax of the film was happening, like, it does not feel like a climax.
No.
Like, the film finally gives you, like, this kind of big, like, action sequence, and as it's happening, you're like, okay, and once it's over, the movie wraps up with it, and it just feels like,
yeah, what the hell? This is it?
There wasn't, because, like, it's weird because you learn about the stakes rather quickly before the movie ends.
Yeah, exactly.
And once it ends, it's like, okay, like, it's over now. It's weird. The way that it's structured seems really rushed, lazy, and weird.
I don't like the way this movie's paced and structured.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. When I was watching that big final, like, climatic action scene, I was like, is this the climax of the movie? This is like the big moment of the film where like everything wraps up, and I was like, okay, I don't feel any of it, but all right. And I guess we're kind of No, I guess I won't go into full spoilers, but anyways, there was something that they could have done to resolve it. Like it was so easy. I wish I could say it, but we're not in spoilers yet.
It's all right. If you want, that's pretty much all we got to say about it. So I'll just. What we're going to do is we'll give our grades and then we'll go ahead and go into spoilers. So I'll give my closing thoughts. This is not a very good movie. It's not terrible. The writing's dog shit. The directing's subpar. It looks pretty for the most part, but sometimes a bit unnatural. The Pokemon sometimes just did not mesh well with the universe. It just seemed odd.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. Pikachu as Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu was by far the best part of the movie. He carried this movie. Without him, this movie would have been really, really bad. I enjoyed it, but only because of Ryan Reynolds, but that's not going to give it a fresh rating from me. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Detective Pikachu a 5 out of 10.
Nice.
Yep.
I pretty much agree with Carlos with what he said, and I already had a premature rating after I finished watching the movie. That was a 5 out of 10.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan. I really do love Pokemon, but this movie just did nothing for me. You know what was funny is I never really felt excited when I saw like the CGI Pokemon like on screen, but anytime I saw like Pokemon posters and Pokemon like fucking statues and shit, that like made me like excited. I was like, oh, that's the shit I love. But seeing them on screen, like the actual Pokemon, I'm like, I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like normies will enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're just a casual moviegoer who doesn't even watch movies a lot and just want to see a Pokemon movie, go for it. I think you'll highly enjoy it. But again, I think the only reason why you will enjoy it is because of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Did people in our audience even like this movie? I don't even know.
I mean, I think they did, but again, I think it was only because of Pikachu.
Oh,
like,
yeah. If it wasn't for him.
It wasn't for him, I don't think anybody would enjoy this. Not even casuals. So,
no.
Yeah, our theater seemed to be really laughing a lot at, Pikachu. So, I think without him, no, this movie would have done nothing. But
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I guess we're going to talk about some spoilers really quick. You want to go ahead and lead the way on that?
Yeah, okay. What I was trying to say, well, what I couldn't say because we were not spoilers, is that the very cliche cookie cutter villain who we don't even understand his motivations for, basically he controls Mewtwo, like he controls Mewtwo with some sort of like device on his head that like transplants his like conscious into Mewtwo.
Yep.
But he's just kind of sitting on his desk with like the thing like in his head with nothing protecting him. So somebody,
what kind of master plan was that?
Somebody at some point can just easily just walk up to him and just take it off.
And that's exactly what happened.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He's just like, ugh, and then his master plan is ruined.
I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, dude, you're not even protected. Like your human body is not even close to being protected. Like,
he's just sitting on his desk.
He's sitting on his desk like...
And the only thing protecting him is like Ditto, but they kind of got rid of him pretty easy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ditto was protecting him, but it's just like...
Yeah, I didn't...
That's a whole
I don't know.
thing.
I thought that was kind of dumb and stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's a dumb plot convenience that you see coming from a mile away. And that's what it is.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I just saw like coming a mile away. Like... when they threw Ditto out the window, I'm like, oh, he's just gonna change into a bird and fucking
and come back.
and come back, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Is there anything spoilery that you?
I'm trying to think right now, but like, I'm trying to think if there's anything like specifically that either bothered me or that I liked, but I don't really know.
Oh well, the big spoiler is the end reveal.
Oh, the end reveal. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So the end reveal of this movie is basically because the whole central plot of this movie is that our main character is on a quest with Pikachu to find out what happened to his father, who they claim is dead, but is he really dead? He has a good hunch that he's not dead, so he's trying to figure it out. And by the end of the movie, you figure out that the talking Pikachu, and the reason why he can hear him talk is because it was his dad's consciousness.
Yeah, it was Pikachu the whole time.
Yeah, basically Mewtwo took the consciousness out of his dad and then put it into Pikachu's body, and then that's how they're able to talk to each other and stuff. So
yeah, the whole time it wasn't like Pikachu like by nature, it was his dad that he was like doing shit with the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the big reveal, and we get to see Ryan Reynolds at the end.
Yeah, you get to see Ryan Reynolds at the end of the movie in human form, and I was just like...
That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how I feel about the twist. I mean, not a twist, but just like the reveal. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really... Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Like, it's just kind of like, it's there. Like, okay, you guys decided to do that. Okay, I guess. Like,
yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me love or hate the movie any less.
Yeah, it's so weird because this movie tries to, like... give you like a gotcha moment, like, oh yeah, you fucking like it now, right? But I never it never hooks me in that way, even though it really tries like a few times. But yeah, I mean that was fine. Like whatever. Like again, like I don't hate it, I don't love it. It just happened, and I just rolled with it. And that's it.
Like I said, this movie just kind of like ended before it even really got started for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's like spoilery to really talk about. But for some reason, nothing's really coming to my head. So
No, like they didn't really. I don't know.
it's not the most memorable movie. It doesn't really stick with you, and that's kind of one of the biggest issues with it.
I don't feel like a lot happened. That's why I was just
Yeah.
waiting for more ridiculous shit to happen, or
Yeah.
at least like crazy shit.
You just have to rely on being entertained by Ryan Reynolds' delivery of dialogue and how he says things, and that's what makes the movie enjoyable for you.
I thought we were gonna have some like fucking earth-shattering consequence dealing with Mewtwo, which kind of was the case, but not really.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something like more in the vein with like superhero movies. It's just like, oh, the world is like on the brink of collapse because Mewtwo's doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
And Pikachu's got to stop him or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, like, the stakes in this movie, you hardly felt them, and then when you finally get some sort of like bigger stakes at the end, it's like resolved instantly. Like, it's just, you don't give. I don't know, the way that this film's structured and the way that it presents conflict is just so, I don't know, it's either bland or just fucking rushed or just lazy, and it just sucks. Really, this movie would have just really been a lot better if whoever was behind the script actually kind of gave a shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way I can describe it.
I also don't like amnesia, like character things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I hate it when a character, his like thing, like the driving force for his motivations, are that he has amnesia and he needs to find who he is.
Yep.
Like I feel like
I mean, that's like a really
it's really oversaturated.
Yeah.
Like it has to be done like really well. Like there's got to be something interesting about it.
I mean, granted, it's like, luckily you have someone like Ryan Reynolds who can kind of give you a sense of self-awareness of the film, which kind of makes it better because, like, he repeats a lot of times, I have amnesia, but he makes jokes out of it, and it kind of makes you, it makes you deal with it better as you're watching it, because it's kind of like, yeah, it's amnesia, plot point, here we go, but at least we have an enjoyable character that's kind of making a joke out of it.
Yeah, luckily Ryan Reynolds was really good, or pretty good.
So
dealing with the script that he was given.
Yeah. And it sucks because there's like some things that he does that kind of fall flat and you're like, ugh. But can't blame him because it's a shitty script. You can tell that the lines are just bad no matter which way you try to repackage it and deliver it. It's just shit.
Yeah, if there was somebody who could deliver like, if this was like a A+ script, then the movie could have been carried a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's I mean this is a good example of a film like where you can tell it just really drags down in quality because of a bad script. And honestly, direction too, because if I was the director of this movie, I would have done a lot of more showing and not telling in this movie. Whoever was the director decided to just to roll with a whole bunch of just telling and never really caring about showing. And when they did show it, they would just verbally explain it too.
I noticed that.
And there's a lot of obvious ass moments to where it's like, obviously that's what happened. And then then a character would like repeat it. Like Mewtwo fly out the window and break it. Oh, fucking Mewtwo just flew out the window and broke it.
It's like, thanks guys, I have this thing called I have these things called eyes. I can see that. This is a motion picture.
There was definitely this is a moving picture. Yeah, there was so many moments like that. I was like, oh, and again, I get it's for kids, but fuck, like it didn't have to be.
I don't know. I don't even think this. I know like kids can watch it, but I don't think it was like for kids. Like
true, because there was a lot of sarcastic adult humor in this, more or less.
Like I think that there wasn't any kids in our theater like speaks volumes. Like they know that a lot of like '90s kids like wants to go see this movie.
That's true. That's true.
Because they grew up on Pokemon, or maybe they're still Pokemon nerds themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Like me, but I didn't like it. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
But alright, I mean, I guess that's all the spoilers we get into. It's probably more, but it's just not for me, it wasn't that memorable of a film, so I'm not going to remember a lot of different things about it. But yeah, I guess that's all we got to say about it, guys.
That's our review, our two-person review. Perry.
Yeah, Perry.
His ghost. He's somewhere back there, but
yeah, Perry was really quiet today.
Yeah, I know. God damn.
But anyway, we really appreciate you guys clicking on this video and hearing what we had to say about Detective Pikachu. If you really enjoyed it, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I won't shit on you. I only went to go see this movie for this review. I was not planning to watch it, honestly.
This was for you guys. So.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
But yeah, that's it. Don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.
Hell yeah.